It's the king. The jewel in the crown. The Holy Grail. Legends, we are told, are made, not born. In Finland, for more than 50 years, they've been made in one place. In Ouninpohja. It's a road heading east from Hämeenpohja. There's a left at Mutanen, a right at Kakaristo. Just a road. But for one day, one glorious day each year, it's a stage. A very special stage. You need to be quick down the steps. Phil Mills tells you
Gets faster now. Flat 6 right past him.
you need to be brave. According to Ari, only a big heart will win this one. You'll fly far at a house painted yellow. Lancia, don't forget, fitted a new rear wing just for this road. Hannu's record in 1985 took the sport to a new level. It turned men and women like Mikkola and Mouton into fighter pilots. Their battleground sits south of the E63, west of Jämsä. This was and is the granddaddy. You go off the line, you go into the unknown. For Markku, it was Grande Lotto. For everybody, it's the legend maker. It's Ouninpohja.
Oh, geez, I have to say, Heikki, that's some intro that you've given us. It certainly got me excited. But this is the start line off the Ouninpohja stage. As a driver, you're sitting here, you're waiting for your time. What are you thinking? What's the feeling in the car?
I mean, it's got to be a special feeling for the guys who come in here because it's the most legendary stage in the world. Everybody talks about Ouninpohja. You got 33.1 Ks, and you know that the first 10 Ks is fast, but that's just the warm-up because after Mutanen Junction, that's when the classic, the old traditional part starts, and that's fast. So the nerves are a little higher than perhaps an ordinary stage.
I'll bet they are. Well, listen, I tell you what, we're going to take this beautiful car and take a little drive through. Shall we get going?
Sounds good.
This kind of stage where of course you need a full commitment, a full confidence in your car to drive on the limit, but if you reach this, then there is nothing beating it in terms of sensation for sure, and adrenaline and pleasure. Straight away the start of the stage is very demanding, so everybody have a lot of respect for this stage, but at the same time is excited to go.
Well, as we all know, in 2023, Kalle Rovanperä had a very big accident on Rally Finland. But Heikki, 20 years previously, 2003, his dad, Harry, had an accident.
So he's obviously come through a small straight line, and there's a little crest and about 20 meters, and then you have this sort of high-speed right-hand corner. And he was taking the line from the left-hand side, and he threw it over the little crest a bit too early, and he was actually heading towards the inside of the corner, so he had to make a little correction. At that speed it was game over. It was too late, and I mean he had a massive head-on impact against the trees here on the outside. Visibly his co-driver was very shaken after the accident, and I mean the spectators were not far. I wonder if the co-driver was actually shaken from the impact or actually from the fact that very nearly hit some spectators, or probably both.
I think it was a combination of both, but what it does remind us of, folks, is if you are coming out on Rally Finland this year, just make sure you listen to the marshals, listen to the instructions, and make sure you don't stand on the outside of corners like this one, because as we've seen, absolutely anything can happen. Look at that. The line, trees, the crest.
Yeah, I mean you gotta be so confident with the bass notes on, you gotta know the road.
Heikki, there are some places on this stage that really stick in the memory, and they stick in the memory for a number of reasons. The size of the crash and the fact the fans have actually put things at the side of the road to remind us. But this spot here, coming over this crest, Tony Gardnermeister, Danny Sordo got it wrong. Is it the same issue with both of them?
Yeah, I think the bottom line on this one is that they both jump too long over this little crest, and it's quite typical on this particular stage because you have obviously big crests where you're expecting to jump a lot, but then you have these little crests, but they can also throw you out of the line, and they both are out of the line, and you need the good patience, but you need a little bit of the road knowledge as well. You gotta know these, you've gotta drive these a few times, and that's what the experience counts on this rally.
And as I said earlier, the Finnish fans, they've put their mark on the rock. Tony Gardnermeister, Daniel Sordo, and it's only his mother that calls him Daniel Sordo. And it's quite interesting, Heikki, isn't it? Because as Danny hits that rock, the last thing he sees is Tony.
Yeah, the rally guys, meeting in the middle of the forest in Finland.
Yeah, that is one very, very special place for all the wrong reasons.
It's a really exciting stage for sure. If you have done it before, you have a bit better knowledge of the lines and all the crests and everything, so excited for it, but it's not going to be a easy stage.
Heikki, we talk about iconic, legendary spots on Rally Finland, and this perhaps is the most iconic. Tell me about the legend of the Yellow House.
You're coming through a right-hand corner, which with the current generation of cars is pretty much flat out, so you just got to line up before this big crest. It's very steep and there's a lot of compression, and then you're actually jumping over 40 meters. I think the best cars are up to 50 meters, and you're actually landing against another little crest, so you got to hold on to the wheel, but it's a very legendary place. Some people have gotten it right, some people have gotten it wrong. And
over the years we have seen some spectacular jumps here. We remember back to Marco Martin, he got it perfectly right, didn't he? And he sailed 50 metres plus. But we've seen one or two getting it wrong, particularly Richard Burns. The car goes nose down, but why?
Yeah, I think he was going flat out over this first crest, and this sharpest part of and the steepest part of the hill, that little bump just before takeoff. I think that just threw the rear of the car too much up in the air, and I guess he was in a battle for the lead, and he was fighting. I guess he was even leading the rally.
He was leading, yeah.
So he needed every single tenth of a second, so I guess he wasn't going to lift, and he just went for it, and that can happen, and you just have to be a little bit careful.
We're stopped here with this beautiful car. Maybe the most famous house in Finland, the Finnish flag in the background. Tell me a bit about this car. Tell me a bit about Lubrican, about Secto.
So this is a historic Porsche from 1968. I've worked with Secto now for the second year. We did the Finnish Rally Championship last year in a Rally 2 car, and actually our car was carbon neutral petrol fuels, and also we were running the carbon neutral transmission and engine oils. And one of the themes for Secto is actually not just the EV cars, but actually saving the old cars and making the old cars sustainable. And this is a perfect example. We are running a carbon neutral petrol with this car and the lubricant oil, so it just shows that an older cars can run sustainably. Motorsport has to take this into account. If we want to go ahead and go forward and push motorsports globally, these issues are rising and coming up nowadays, and we have to take them into account, and I think this is a perfect example of the first step and a little step in the right direction.
No, I totally agree with you. I think they're listening as well at the FIA, that's for sure. Shall we go on? Shall we take a little drive?
There was actually a good joke with one friend that, like, if Ouninpohja was your lover, what type of lover it would be. We thought that it might be beautiful, so it's nice, but very toxic. So it can be challenging.
Yeah, at the very top level, they gotta be so committed that it probably feels a bit uncomfortable as well. So high speed, and if you fall off, it's gonna be always a big one.
It's a place where you need to be very, very focused. It's a big roller coaster. Yeah, the beginning is cool. It's very smooth road. All crests which are flying the car always a bit different.
We've come down the steps, Heikki. That was quite spectacular. We've come through the little hamlet of Muttinen, and unbelievably, as we come to the Muttinen junction, it gets faster now.
The line is a 6 right minus. I'm not trying to support but slow. So line is a 6 right plus, giving them a jump at 20. Line is a 5 left plus of a jump. Open. Gets faster now. Flat 6 right plus of a crash. 60.
What an unbelievable stage. I mean, it's it gives you something special, you know, when you look on even on board after now, you know, it's incredible to listen to the co-driver. Junction left, it gets faster now, and for sure people, they must think, you know, what the hell did you just do, you know, before you turn left? What he meant there is that the road was much wider. We don't have so much on board that time, so you need to have a little bit more information about characteristic, and so you can mentally prepare that, okay, new part of the stage basically. And to beat, you know, a Finn in Finland on some of the stages, and especially that one, it should not be possible. It's just pure adrenaline kick, best stage in the world, I think.
When you watch my dad's on board, you're like, hey, this is cool, you know, hell of a push. And then when you see the road in real life, you're like, it's like up and down and blind and wow, incredible, incredible.
What is your note for the Mutinen junction?
Elliot has in the pace notes that it gets faster now, you know.
Is he going to say it?
We will try to do it. We have to get there first. We have to get there first.
I guess most people will remember this junction, Heikki, from the Solberg Phil Mills moment. But it's actually one of the most historical parts of the stage, isn't it?
This stage has been driven in different formats, different directions, and actually different junctions have been at different parts of this sort of area has been used. And we've had rallies that the stage has come from over there, and we've used this junction going to the left and going to the right. And Ouninpohja is definitely going to be one of the deciding stages, and the big boys go fast here.
Challenging stage, obviously you feel it when you're on the start line, but once you are gone, it's pure focus and just trying to optimize your driving and engage the car at the right time before the crest and the jump. Trust your pace notes and just have fun.
You've got to be a passenger on Ouninpohja. Who drives you? Which driver would you choose?
That's a good question. Maybe a second myself, or that would be cool.
Heikki, there are lots of famous jumps in this stage. We've already had a look at the Yellow House, but this one, maybe not quite so well known, the Amazon jump. But why is it called the Amazon jump?
Moving Volvo, watch. Happily, neither driver is damaged, but for a second or two, fire looks like finishing off what was once a very nice motorcar.
In 1968, there was a Volvo Amazon that took off from this crest, which isn't unusual. He took off on the wrong line and actually ended up on the right side in the ditch and had quite a massive roll. And it's a very sort of typical kind of corner that at the entry of the corner, it kind of fools your eye a little bit. And you hear in some pace notes, you hear fools or deceptive, or actually in Finnish we have this word called hämää. It looks like the road is going where the opening is, but it's actually on the top of the crest is tightening, and you have to be ready for that, and that Volvo Amazon guy wasn't ready for it, and he had a big one.
Yeah, where are you lining up on this one? Cross here somewhere. Oh my God.
It's a big one.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
We've seen some incredible corners, we've seen some incredible jumps, Heikki, in this stage. But if you want to come and just sample a bit of Rally Finland and to get a flavour for what it's all about, this is where you want to be on the rally.
Yeah, absolutely. This famous Kakaristo junction, very tight junction right, and I mean you can see quite a long way. You can see a couple of really high-speed corners where we've seen some moments over the years and even some accidents over the years, and then you come into these very slow-speed corners. You can see the drivers, you can see their faces, their expression inside the car, and the fields are full of people. I mean, the atmosphere is probably at its best at this point.
We remember in particular Mikko Hirvonen.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those corners that you look at and you think, how did they get it so wrong?
Yeah, I mean, actually the Hirvonen moment was, you could argue that how did he get it so right? Because he actually used the road just about perfectly. He couldn't have had an inch more.
And you know, as a driver, when you come into sections like this and the fans are there and the flags are flying, can you take it in? Do you hear the noise? Do you smell the barbecues in the car?
Yeah, you might not smell the barbecue in the car, but you see them. You see, and you know that you have a few more kilometers to go, a little bit of more energy from these guys when they're cheering on you.
Well, first you have a wide farmer's tarmac road, you know, with a lot of crests. And then suddenly you come to a small road and the speed doesn't change. You're still the same speed, it's just half of the big road. So, and then it starts to be maniac. And that's the cool thing about it.
Heikki, we've made it to the end of the stage, but I have to say, that last third, what was it, 8-9 kilometres or so, goodness me, that requires some commitment between those trees.
Yeah, and it's very challenging for the drivers to change the rhythm from the sort of first 2/3 of the stage. Like you said, it's very high speed, and I think the drivers have been quoted saying that actually this is the most important part of the stage. So it's really important to keep the focus. Long stage, but you gotta finish the stage.
That's it, it's 30 odd Ks, and we saw a couple of years ago, Chris Meek in that section there, just being a little over-optimistic, and you only have to be a fraction over-optimistic, and it goes wrong so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of narrow road, you can't quite optimize your racing lines as well as on the bigger roads. You have to hook to the inside and hit the apexes probably earlier than on the bigger road. And if you're trying to be too cute and too tidy, and you hang on the loose stuff, you'll never make the apex and it can go wrong.
Heikki, I have to say it was an absolute pleasure driving through with you. When are you going to drive it competitively? Has it given you that bug now to get in?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, it's going to be hard to be competitive here against the guys who are driving every day, but just to enjoy this rally and in front of my home crowd, I think I'm going to do it next year. So I got to have a good chat with Secto and organise a car and do it.
Well, let's not wait till next year. I think we should take this through and go again. What do you reckon? Should we go again?
Absolutely.
Come on then.
Anytime.
There's nothing better on, is there?